Poetic beats. Poetic beats.
This is First GenXers.
Poetic beats. Poetic beats.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up? Welcome to this week's edition of the Classroom. We didn't know if we was going to be 2 or 3, and it looks like we're going to be 3. Three. Welcome, Miss O'Malley, to the show. All right, y'all. So let's get this rocking and going, and we are going to start out with our sports quiz question. I decided to make them just a little bit harder this time. Hopefully, they're hard enough that you guys may stumble or at least have to think about it. Let's see. All right, so the first question of the day is, who was the first Major League Baseball player to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in the same decade? Not in the same system, in the same season, but in the same decade. That decade was the 90s. So you're thinking 91 to 99 or 91 to 2000. Roll it out. All right, so answer at the end of the segment. We're going to open up with a little NBA talk. This is coming up solely because of the fact that, again, we talked about sports memorabilia selling for, I guess there is a card that is signed by both Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. It has both Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan on the card. It is called the Holy Grail, and as you can see, that is what it looks like, right? And that particular piece of memorabilia has just sold for $12.9 million. I will add this to my list of shit people do when they have way too much money. I don't know. You guys can tell me what you think. Is there a possibility that this thing could be so valuable as in general, just as a card, as a collectible, to genuinely be worth that? Or is this one of those things where I like to think happens with sports memorabilia? It's how much the person is willing to pay for it based on how much it means to them. It's not necessarily how much the value of the actual card. Like somebody paid $3 million for Steph's rookie card. Like, I love Steph Curry. Steph Curry's rookie card ain't worth $3 million. You know what I'm saying? But to the dude who bought it, it was. So, Swab, I'll let you start off with this. Take center stage and let us know. Like, what do you think about somebody deciding to spend $12.9 million on this Holy Grail Jordan Bryant
I
card?
mean, to be honest, you're spending 12.9 million on something that won't per se reduce in value.
Yeah.
You're looking at it as an investment. Some people do it for the love of the player or the genre that they love. You know, football cards, baseball cards have notoriously been high money earners. Football, they get game balls, baseball, the same thing. This is no different. Um, it's going to end up in somebody's vault, and for them to spend 12.9 million on it, I mean, it's obviously somebody with hundreds of $1 million at their disposal because I don't really see anybody with just say 100 million spending 10% or 12% of their net worth. So obviously and we have a lot more billionaires than we used to uh the crypto era and all that. So, I mean, it was valuable to this person, and I can see why. I believe if Kobe was still alive, it might not have fetched as high a price. It still would have been in the upward millions, and just I don't think it would have been 12.9, but it was obviously an auction, and people ponied up for it. But this kind of thing happens. It's just like Post Malone buying the One Ring card for that card game. And he paid $2 million for it. It's the only card on
Yeah, but
planet Earth.
but Post Malone also spent $1,000 on a pair of Crocs. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, when you got money, you're gonna burn it on things that you want to do. You're gonna set fire to it. And this guy, 12.9 million, it's pocket change to this guy most likely. This guy definitely didn't just have $13 million in the bank and spent 12.9 million of it on one basketball card. So
Well, here's the thing about it, and here's where I get jealous, is that I'm pretty sure that card is probably valued extremely high, just in general. This is why I talk about what I said about the fact that sometimes it's about the nostalgia within people. What's up, Be More Humble? Thanks for tapping in. Thanks for showing us some love. We'll say, but I don't know. I couldn't see, like, if I open up you remember the magazine that used to come out every month and it told you how much your card was worth. You can look up your card. Oh, I got a 1987 like Jose Canseco, and it tell you it was worth like $15 or $30. I've never opened one of those, and I used to open those up and just read through them just to see how much cards were valued at. I never saw anything really over a couple of $1,000, which makes me think this card in reality probably is worth about $15,000. But like you said, it was an auction. People had money to drop, and so the bid got hiked up to 12.9 million. Yeah. O'Malley, your thoughts on this card and the ridiculousness of sports memorabilia and collectors sometimes?
I mean, I feel like that it was something personal, like Swab said. I also agree that's somebody with billionaire kind of money,
Yeah.
not millionaire kind of money. I see that's somebody maybe who shares the love of the game with their kid or something, and this is to like be handed down to my kid as it goes on, but it wasn't based on a financially sound decision. Because will it go up in value? Absolutely, especially once Jordan is no longer here. Will it
Right.
ever really be worth more than that? No. I mean, it's a card.
Yeah.
This has to be
Right.
like the yeah. I don't. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy shit.
I will say that
That's
some
some
cars have
that's
gotten
some
cool.
rich white people shit. Is what that is.
I mean,
Ding,
the
ding,
little
ding, ding,
pieces
ding.
of jersey that they put on them, or the little pieces of shoe
That's
that they put on them. And when you showed the card, I was like, oh, okay, it's got the little, logo, double dual logos probably from game worn jersey.
Jerseys, yeah. Oh man. All right. So the next subject we're going to touch on in this first block is John Wall, five-time NBA All-Star, has retired after 11 seasons in the NBA. I'm going to feel horrible for saying what I'm about to say. And John, this is no stab at you, but you were still in the NBA?
I was thinking the same thing.
Like,
He was hanging on. He was getting paid. No sense retiring until the last contract's done.
but we say goodbye after 11 seasons. I'll be honest, he was somebody that even during the Steph Curry time, I thought I wanted the Warriors to try to trade for him, like with what you call it. Now, by the time they traded Jordan Poole there, John Wall was too old. Like not old, but he was too old to be coming to the Warriors for what we needed.
Well, let's be honest. He was a five-time All-Star. He was great in his prime. Those other 6 years, he was hurt.
Yeah, true, huh? Very true. And so I'll say to him, hey, bro, I wouldn't be looking for a gold jacket. I'll just say that. If you get inducted, it'll probably be like one of those like senior senior player type things, but that's a long shot at that. If you look at Suave, he's already saying nope.
I don't think so. Because I'm sorry, but the history of the NBA can be written without John Wall.
I hate to say it, like he had his moment, but that would be like saying Jeremy Lin belongs in the Hall of Fame.
For Linsanity. I mean, and at least he has the Linsanity argument behind him. But
I believe he was on the bench for a championship, so he might have Lin. But
it's nothing against John Wall. It's not saying he wasn't a good player in his prime. It's just saying that, we've got to stop looking at all of these players like they're Hall of Fame players, because they're just not.
I think there is a huge difference, and you guys can either back me up or oppose this. I think there is a huge difference between Hall of Fame talent and a Hall of Fame player. I think there are a lot of guys in the game that have Hall of Fame talent, but I think that a lot of them are not going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Just like there's been a lot of guys throughout the history, like Derrick Rose. Love you to death, brother. Again, Hall of Fame talent. I mean,
unless they open some category for most injury-prone player, then we're not inducting into the Hall of Fame based on potential.
Right.
Because by the time you make it into the Hall of Fame, we see whether or not your potential has been realized. And while you may have gone into the league with Hall of Fame potential, you did not become a Hall of Fame type player.
And also I look at it from this perspective. The Hall of Fame, now don't get me wrong, there are some people that find their way into the Hall of Fame, and I can't think of a name off the top of my head right now, but I can tell you right now, if you look through every Hall of Fame, there's a couple players you're like, but normally most of the time those players are players who had impact outside of on the court. And that is why they are being looked, or they are being put in the Hall of Fame for their contributions outside. But the Hall of Fame is supposed to be the best of the best. It's not just supposed to be the best players that ever played in the NBA. It's supposed to be the best of the best.
It's supposed to be the players that the history of the sport cannot be written without including them.
Amen.
Period.
And unfortunately, Sir John Wall, I love you to death.
We didn't even realize you were still playing. So clearly it could be written without you, sir, unfortunately.
So, but now the Wizards' history can't be written. He was big in the Wizards'
retire
history.
his jersey. It all depends, though.
And
that's about the guy I think. Yeah, I wouldn't fight that either. Like, okay, cool, but Hall of Fame, like, sorry, bro. Sorry. And as we talk about him being honored by the Wizards as opposed to by the league, Derrick Rose will be receiving his jersey retirement by the Chicago Bulls on January 24th. I think he deserves it. I think for the seasons that he was in Chicago, he meant something to Chicago. I don't remember if he's a Chicago boy or not, like if he was born in Chicago or not, or lived out there. But I just know that he meant a lot to that team. Not as much as MJ. I doubt anybody will mean as much as MJ meant to that team. But I think that he meant something to that team. He at least deserves to have his jersey retired by them.
The youngest MVP in NBA history, and they were winning in a winning team up until he had that horrific injury. So, I mean,
and that's where, he definitely put his body on the line for that team. So he sacrificed his body for that team. And that's what's unfortunate with Derrick Rose, because he did come in with so much potential and he did great until the injuries started. And he just never, and so I'll give him that. I'll give it, I think he deserves that. He sacrificed his body for that team and that sport. So, okay. I think, but that's just another one that it was disappointing. I think everybody had hoped to see a lot more from him, but for some very unfortunate circumstances, I think that things could have been different for him.
And that is, I hate to say it, but that is a typical story with a lot of people in sports in general. They all the potential. I remember a guy that me and Swab went to high school with. Well, I didn't go to high school with him. I think Swab did. I don't know if he was still there the year, but his name was Anthony Gray. He went to school out in Hayward, and the kid was considered easily one of the best running backs in the league. I believe he never even ended up making it to college because he got caught up in some shit and ended up going to jail for a bit. And it's like we see athletes where
I saw kids like that at De La Salle. There was he was either a running back or a wide receiver at De La Salle that had been basically poached from Pop Warner football. He was a public school kid, and unfortunately, like, he was offered a full ride scholarship to UCLA, to USC, to a few other schools, and the kid couldn't get a 720 on his fucking SATs. And when you're coming out of a school like De La Salle, that is a travesty. I mean, there's no reason, like, so tell me you don't give two halves a shit about these kids other than what they can do for football. And mind you, this kid he played for them at what ended up being the very beginning of the streak, and it's sad because he had promise. We've seen professional players come out of that school, but if they had put as much into him scholastically as they did athletically, he'd be in a different place right now.
And that I agree with, is that like a lot of that is on the schools to push these kids scholastically, despite what they mean to them on the field. Swab, your thoughts on what we were just talking about, and also Derrick Rose's retirement or Jersey retirement.
I mean, it's deserving, so it's good for Chicago. It's good for D Rose. He'll be immortalized in Chicago, and I'm happy for him.
There you go. All right, so the next subject we'll talk about involves some off the field stuff, but not with a player thing. As it was revealed this week by ESPN that father of Celtic star Jaylen Brown was arrested after a stabbing. He was accused of attempted murder in connection with a stabbing Wednesday night in Las Vegas. He's 57. He was arrested Thursday morning and booked in the Clark County Detention Center. He has already made his first court appearance and set bail. But yeah, Las Vegas police said the stabbing occurred after two people got into an argument in the parking lot. Brown allegedly dinged the victim's car when he got out of his SUV, leading to the argument. According to the news report, Brown allegedly stabbed the victim multiple times after his back was turned. The victim was taken to a local hospital and is recovering from surgery. The attorney says that his client was attacked first and the stabbing was in self-defense. Yeah.
Not if his back was turned.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this unfolds.
You also don't get to start the fight and just because somebody may physically come after you first. If you started the altercation, there is no self-defense. And if he turned his back on you, that is not self-defense. You had the opportunity to walk away.
Yeah. But
this is another one of those unfortunate things.
Now look, I won't sit here and say I'm surprised. Not because I know this man or not because this man has any kind of track record, but I do have to ask myself, with me pushing 50, like as far away as possible, but it's coming up on close to 1 or 2. I can't think of a situation at 57 years old. I dinged your car. I'm sorry. My bad. Let me see. Is it messed up? All right, cool. You're talking kind of crazy to me, so can you please stop that? But let's deal with the situation at hand. Why is your first reaction as a 57-year-old grown man to get into an altercation with somebody over a dinged car? To me, that's as bad as getting into
Isn't that what insurance is for? Don't we cover car insurance just for, okay,
and your son makes millions.
You are you're not a 23-year-old with an underdeveloped brain at this point. You are a grown-ass man with a son playing professional basketball Like,
You could have
I
bought the
mean,
dude a new
but you
car.
know what? We see this with Ja Morant's parents too. I mean, it's crazy to me. And let me hold off on judgment because we
Yeah.
don't actually know what happened. So let me kind of dial this back a bit
Right.
because we know it's being reported. We don't know the full story. But if the full story is as what it's being reported, like, really?
You doing out there, bro? What the are you doing? Suave, any last thoughts on this before we move on to the next subject?
We'll see what the courts have to say. But honestly, if I was driving a Rolls Royce or a really expensive car and someone backed into it, sucks to be you and your insurance. That's about as hard as I'm
Yeah,
getting on it.
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, because most people don't carry that type of insurance, but I
Not
mean,
enough to cover a rolls. Not enough to cover a
right.
rolls at
But
all.
like seriously, if you're driving around in a Rolls, how about you act like you're driving around in a Rolls?
You know? Because here's the thing about it. It's never that serious. Like I've loved
It's
my
not
car.
worth it. It is not worth the prison. Trust me. I visit prison regularly. It is not worth the prison time, folks.
So
Like,
normally I find
you've got too much going for you. Your son has too much going for you. Just walk away.
I say this. I say this. I've constantly said this to the few generations below me, but never thought I'd have to be saying it to a generation ahead of me. But get your head on straight, bro.
Yeah, because this sounds like some like young adult. My brain isn't fully developed. I am not thinking. Either that or like there were substances involved because somebody is not in the right frame of mind for
Well, his
Alcohol
this.
son
plays a
being
big
rich
role.
might have changed his whole attitude on
That
how
part,
he,
well,
reacts
again,
with people.
John Morant's parents are two very good examples, although they're not nearly quite as old, I don't think.
No,
Um,
I
but
think they're a little bit.
but still, like, sir, you are old enough to be a grandfather at this point. Like, how about we
Decorum.
just chill and enjoy life? Like it's you if you have the money or your son has the money for you to be driving around in a Rolls Royce, like it is really not that serious.
Yeah. I I I've always said this. Like just as an older person, the older I get, the less any of that it matters. It's just like, all right, dude. Like you ding my car, cool. Like insurance information, yeah. Let's exchange insurance information.
Yeah, it's gonna
I'm
suck
good.
for you. Your rates are gonna go up, but hey, no big deal.
But I wish him well. Hope he, whatever this is, he beats it, and that he can go on enjoying his life.
Well, I don't hope he beats it. I mean, if he's guilty of stabbing them dude in the back, I mean, he gets what's coming to him. But
Fair
I
enough.
want to wait to see what the evidence is and how all that
Yes,
works.
Right.
that part.
All right. Our final subject for today is actually sort of a retraction, but not really a retraction. Like I'm saying, we're sorry. We're sorry because we're not. We talk about what's available out there, but it seems that Malik Beasley's attorney said he is no longer a target of the was it state marshals or the FBI's gambling probe.
I don't
So I
know,
guess he's
but
been
just
cleared.
because his attorney says that's true doesn't make it actually true.
Hey, we live in the day of social media, right? Like what's on social media is real. No, but yeah, no, it was reported by ESPN that he's saying, yeah, that he's no longer a part of that probe. So if he is, good for him. Go get the rest of your life together. I know the last time we talked about you here on the show, like you'd gotten evicted from your apartment for not paying rent, like owed the landlord like $26,000. So you had other problems. This is just one of your problems falling off the board. Go handle your shit. Maybe
This is just one more in his long list of questionable decisions that he has been making.
he played in the league last year. Hope the guy gets a chance to play in the league again this year, even though he can't contribute too much at this point. But all right, so that's the last thing for this segment. We're going to take our quick 5-minute commercial block, and then we shall return after that with some NFL talk because the Eagles have been going crazy today, and I just kind of want to look at. I guess they've completed like 3 trades in the last like 12 hours. So we're going to take a look at that and see what's going on over there in Philly. Including, didn't they just trade with the Browns for one of their oh no, the Browns, on top of it, the Browns released Tyler Huntley, but we'll get to that to clear up some of their clogged quarterback. All right, y'all, this has been The Classroom featuring myself, O'Malley, and Mr. Schwab, and we will be back in about 5. Peace.
This is now versus then. This is now versus then. Get on your mark, let's go. This is now versus then. Burning up your radio, still turning up the heat with Poetic on the flow. Got you moving to the beats with the Saint as your host. Shout out the collective, hold it down, we gon' clown, that's the lesson. Where Generation X meets Generation Next, with them bangers from the east to the south to the west. Yeah, this how we do it in Sacktown. Slide to the studio, yup, it goes down. Everybody fall through. These beats gon' pound, waking the game up, told you it goes down. And this is only the intro. Turn the mics on, shout out to my kinfolk. Where you at, y'all? Let's get this started. Turn down for what? We about to start the party. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then. This is now versus then.
All right, y'all. So we are back and ready to go. This time we're going to be talking some NFL, and we're going to open up with the Eagles, man. First of all, they traded a couple days ago for Sam Howell from they added Carson Wentz and traded Sam Howell to the Eagles. So the Eagles now QB room includes Jalen Hurts, some guy I've never heard of, and Sam Howell from Washington. The guy that lost his job to Jaden Daniels and didn't do nothing wrong. He just did what he needed to do.
Dude, he sucked.
Yeah,
He
he wasn't
sucked, and I'm
very
glad
good.
I don't have to hear about it anymore because
Hey,
freaking yeah, I'm glad that I don't have to hear about Sam Howell in the Sam Howell bullshit.
I
Jalen
mean, I
Hurts
rooted
did.
for
Because
him. You know,
Yeah.
you always root for an
because
underdog.
because that team's fans is well,
Annoying.
they used to have a racist name. It didn't the name change did not change the racism in some of the fans.
Damn. Well,
The kind who want a more quarterbacky quarterback.
more quarterback. Yeah. Well, I'll say. But if he goes down, Sam Howell it is, because I'm pretty sure like the other kid is some rookie like they picked up in the 6th round. So Howell's going to be playing if Hurts gets hurt. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because then watch, it's going to happen right before the Washington game. Watch. They also picked up in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars their old offensive tackle Fred Johnson and another offensive tackle named Darian Kennard. Or they traded him to the Eagles or to the Packers. The Eagles received a 6th round pick in exchange for him. All these picks just flying all over the place. Eagles is trying to do something. Didn't they win the Super Bowl last year? Yeah.
Not sitting on their laurels, I can tell you that. And they still got a ton of draft capital to play with.
So, all right, y'all. So the sports quiz question from earlier was, who was the first Major League Baseball player to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in the same decade? Any guesses, guys?
Yeah, my guess he only did 40-40, but I'm gonna say Jose Canseco.
All right.
I don't think it's right though.
Well, I was gonna go with either Ricky Henderson or Barry Bonds.
I don't think I don't think Ricky ever hit over 50 and Barry never
Barry
stole 50
Bonds.
bases.
Barry
Remember,
Bonds.
it's in the same decade. So
I don't think Barry Bonds, I don't remember Barry Bonds stealing very much even before he got on the juice. So
Oh no, he was a 30-30 guy before the juice. He was easily a 30-30 guy, like 30 home runs, 30. So but he did steal some, because remember, he got walked during that. Well, that wouldn't have been during the 90s though. That would have been like, I think what they're saying is like he probably stole 50 bases when he was still with Pittsburgh.
oh,
And
it
then
was
hit
Barry
50.
Bonds? I'll be damned.
Yeah, it was Barry Bonds. He probably stole 50 bases when he was still with Pittsburgh, and then hit 50 home runs during that
Well, and
late
because
90s stretch.
you specifically said it was the 90s, so
Right.
that really actually Ricky Henderson and even Jose Canseco really would have been out in that, because they
Right.
were doing it up in the 80s. So
Like I want to say by 95, both of them were retired.
yeah.
I don't remember Canseco hitting a lot of home runs late in his career. But yeah, the answer was Barry Bonds. Yeah, she hit the nail on the head. All right. So now for the next question that we'll talk about at the end of the show. Before Tom Brady's era, who was the MVP of Super Bowl 31 in 1997, where the Green Bay Packers defeated the New England Patriots? Or no, actually, hold up. Yeah, who was the MVP of that Super Bowl? And I can almost guarantee it's probably not who you're thinking, but I know Swab's knowledge, he may know that. But all right. So after who was it? Okay, so sorry, I got that whole thing with Sam Howell is an Eagle, but it was the Vikings who added Carson Wentz and traded Sam Howell to the Eagles. So he's the reason that they're I guess going all in on JJ McCarthy. That's their guy now. They did add Carson Wentz as probably a solid backup, because you always want a solid veteran backup to your rookie guy. So and hopefully he never sees the field, because I don't know. I don't think Carson Wentz even deserved the one Super Bowl he won. Wasn't he on the bench and Nick Foles won that Super Bowl?
Yeah, but I mean, up until that moment, he was the man. He had just gotten hurt, and that was basically the end of his career. But he's been a serviceable backup.
Yeah, yeah. So I like what the Vikings have going on over there. Like, but on the subject of the Vikings, and this is kind of not on the field stuff. I think me and O'Malley touched on this a couple of weeks ago when Swab was on vacay. The male cheerleaders have been the talk of the town when it comes to the Vikings. And my favorite retort to the people who have had an issue with it is this: if 30 beautiful women walk out and 2 men walk out, and your focus is on the 2 men, says more about yourself than it says about like, just saying.
I don't understand it. If you've watched any college football, you know there are male cheerleaders. I don't understand. And now the
They watch
NBA has.
yeah. In a lot of the dance teams for the NBA, because of the things that they've been doing, have had male dancers, and
Yep.
not in the way that people are thinking. And yes, would strike everybody as being a little bit out there, but you know that the majority of male cheerleaders in college are actually straight folks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is, and the male cheerleaders in college are the reason why they can stunt the way that they can and why they compete the way that they do. And guess what? They also get scholarships for their athletic ability. Like, this is some, was it a short news cycle? Is this like
Close
with
to that,
everything going on right now, this is what people want to like
focus
oh my
on.
God.
Like, here's my thing about it. What O'Malley was just saying. I'm gonna be real to people here, and I'm gonna actually admit a guilty pleasure movie that I have. I actually came around 100%. I was never against the idea of male cheerleaders, but I was like, I hadn't seen a lot in my life growing up. I really came around to the idea of male cheerleaders and the fact that the predominant amount of them are straight by watching the movie Bring It On. And I know this is gonna be like, but you watch that movie and you see the boys that are on the squad, and I'm like, you know what? I've known a few dudes like, okay, he was on the cheerleading squad.
And so I cheered for 8 years, and I coached cheerleading. I've cheered on co-ed teams. I've cheered on all female teams. High school, because all stars are often combined with both. In high school, we would occasionally have a couple of football players who would help us do some like really super crazy basket tosses. Like, just like, seriously, this whole gender bullshit is becoming way too much.
Yeah.
Like, just let people have fun. Nobody is hurting anybody. Like, and exactly what you said. If there are freaking 30 hot women that come out and you're focused on the couple of dudes that are coming out on,
your focus is not where it should be, Danielson.
Yeah, and I mean, come on, people, you're out there watching men in freaking tight pants bent over and like tackling each other. Yes. So make that make sense.
I look at it from this perspective. And this was really, I read this in the comment section somewhere and they brought it up. They were like, NFL, if you're talking about you don't want to see that, NFL cheerleaders spend a total of 4 minutes out of a 3-hour game, 2 hour, 45 minutes, 3-hour game, actually on camera. Like, so if you're watching the game at home, you're really not gonna see these guys much. You know what I'm saying? If at all. And if you're at the game, again, I revert back to my statement that we began the segment with about 30 beautiful women being on the field and where your focus.
I'd be more pissed off that your team hasn't done much of shit lately than having male cheerleaders on the field. Like,
and as much as I'm not a Sam Darnold fan, Sorry, I think it was stupid letting Sam Darnold walk out the door. I think it would have been much more profitable for them long term to allow JJ McCarthy a couple of years to learn the speed of the game and get that mind up there where that talent is at, and let Sam Darnold guide you to a couple of 10-win seasons, keep you competing with Green Bay for that division. I'm just saying. Now he's up in Seattle, and well,
And they're worried about some male cheerleaders. Come on, you need to be worried about your fucking team, folks. Seriously.
All right, so at some point this week, the Washington Commanders decided that they didn't want Brian Robinson Jr. anymore. Evidently, some other kid that they showed, or some other kid that came into camp showed them that he was ready to take that position from what was their starting running back last year. So what did they do? Traded him to the San Francisco 49ers for like a 6th round pick. And basically, as all the people have said, he's basically McCaffrey insurance. McCaffrey has a tendency to be injured. And as much as I love him and dynamic as he is on the field, that's true. And this gives them a starting quality replacement or backup to him. And no offense to the guys that they have, but they had like 3 rookies and then Isaac Guerrero coming back. And he's a pretty good back, but I think this gives them a little bit more weight off their shoulders at the running back position if McCaffrey gets hurt. Now, don't get me wrong. Knowing Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's luck, they'll both get hurt by week 4, and they'll both be out for the season. So we'll be right back to square one. But that's just their luck. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I wish for healthy seasons for both McCaffrey and Robinson. But Swab, kick us off with your thoughts on this trade.
And it's a depth move. He did get some good looks last season, getting the job, but he wasn't able to hold on to it. He looks serviceable. He'll probably be halfway decent in the 49ers offensive scheme. He won't, mirror what McCaffrey is, and Guerrero will have a leg up. So literally, he's 3rd or 4th string running back. But they've been banged up. He might see some touches here and there. But other than that, it's just a depth move. That's it.
For sure. O'Malley, any thoughts?
I mean, they got another trade with the Niners. They traded another one of their players to the Niners last year, the year before, and it still didn't do much for them either. So I mean, this isn't to me like a big huge news. This is like okay.
For somebody that's a Niners fan, for me, it's nice to know that there'll be somebody that we can use. And again,
true.
starting quality depth.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to jinx myself by saying when. I'll say if McCaffrey gets hurt.
Well, when McCaffrey gets hurt.
Well, yeah, I'm not jinxing that.
I will.
I know. You'll try. Anyway. All right. This next story is one that I'm sure you guys will have lots of fun with. When asked if he expects to have a roster spot on the 53-man roster, Shedeur Sanders replied with the words, obviously. Some would say showing the same swagger as his father did when he played in the league, except without half the talent. I'm sorry. That was a personal statement there. None of that's factual. But anyway.
That is factual. Personal statement aside, I mean, it was factual.
Well said. But go ahead and give us your thoughts, guys, on Shedeur Sanders. O'Malley, you can kick us off. Saying he expects.
I have a problem with obviously. I mean, like, you're not doing yourself a whole lot in what were the issues coming into this. Yeah. Like, I mean, that falls in line with like legendary and like in your own mind, sir. And I'm all for being confident, but I feel like there was a better way to make that statement and state that, because it's not obviously, folks. It is not obviously where he has been landing in the depth charts. There is not an obvious yes, this is going to happen. I mean, he could have been like, I did my best and went out there and I'm confident in, having a spot, versus obviously. Well, you're going to feel real fucking dumb, aren't you, if obviously you aren't on the roster.
I think that obviously is a bad way to put it out there, but I think that he's correct. I don't think that the Browns are going to let him go. I think they're waiting out. I think Joe Flacco is a bridge from what was supposed to be Deshaun Watson to what will be eventually Shedeur Sanders. I just have this weird feeling. Suave, your thoughts?
You don't have a problem with it. It's a loaded question. He had a lot of controversy at draft time, so I think the question wasn't necessarily or shouldn't even been bothered to been posed to him, and him answering with a one-word answer. I think that's fine. No need to dive into anything. Just kind of obviously. I mean, it exudes a little bit of the confidence and the swagger that he has. Um, Honestly, I don't know what the Browns are doing. They could have just gone ahead and cut Deshaun Watson. They don't want him back. They got to eat his money regardless. At least they could have spread it over a couple seasons. You signed Pickett. You could have cut him almost instantly and given him no money, and you could have gone in with Joe Flacco and two rookies. So I don't know what the Browns are doing,
And they
but
signed and
I
released Tyler Huntley too.
yeah, so I mean, I fully expect Sanders, the kid that they drafted in the third round, and Flacco to be the one, two, and three. Um, I don't know why they're making everybody wait because make no mistake, if they do cut Sanders for some crazy reason, most half team in the league are gonna fucking pick him up on the waiver wire.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so the next story that we're going to bring up here is kind of funny to me at least. Um, Now we've gotten so deep into the Micah Parsons Dallas Cowboys storyline that Brian Schottenheimer is planning to meet with Parsons today, and I guess assume trying to convince him to come, stop holding out, come at least be on the field for his final year, be on be in camp and all that for his final year, and work out the contract later. Because Brian Schottenheimer, I'm gonna tell you this. This is where I go with this. Brian Schottenheimer sitting there like, look, Mom, hey, look, I'm not losing this job 1 year into this job because your ass don't want to come to work. Jerry will pay you, come play because we need you. Because without Micah Parsons, that Dallas defense is about as
And Micah
toothless as a
Parsons
grapple.
is like, fuck you, pay me.
Rightfully so.
And
Rightfully
he's
so.
earned it. He has fucking earned it. I'm sorry if they threw all that money at Dak. Like, I'm sorry, but like you just said, they are not going anywhere without their defense.
Yep.
And their defense ain't going anywhere without Parsons. So pay the fucking man. Pay him.
Give his goddamn money. Suave, your thoughts?
Honestly, it's gonna come to a head. I don't think he's gonna miss any games, but Parsons doesn't need to be in camp. He knows the playbook inside and out. The defensive line is and all their pressure assignments are all based off of him. And all you got to do is rush the passer, and they're not coaching him on how to do that because he already knows how to do that at an elite level. So him missing training camp is nothing. Wake me up when he starts missing actual games. But at the same time, even then, I expect Jerry Jones to cough up the money. I think he's just trying to figure out how to manage the salary cap to where, him, CD Lamb, and Dak don't destroy the rest of the team. So that way they're on, handing out 8 and 9 seasons and not going anywhere. He should have
Now,
made this deal months ago and been the first to reset the market before three other defensive ends got signed, or hybrid linebackers included, that got signed, like Miles Garrett, TJ Watt, Max Crosby. He should have been signed long time ago, and they would have saved 10, 15, 20, $30 million over the life of his deal.
and the only thing I will push back on you on this is about Jerry trying to figure out. Jerry pays people to figure out the cap. They already got the cap figured out. They just don't want to pay him what he knows he's worth.
They're trying to take an Eagles approach. The Eagles have managed and massaged their salary cap better than any other team in the league right now.
But the Eagles have
And
also managed to pay their core players when the time came to pay them without hesitation.
yeah, but the Cowboys weren't on that game plan till a very short while ago. So Jerry Jones wants to win. There's no
I'm gonna
doubt
say
about
this.
it.
I don't think it's that Jerry Jones doesn't want to win. I think Jerry Jones is an old man who
He
doesn't like
sure makes
winning.
questionable decisions for somebody
Yeah,
who wants to
like
win.
like the fact of the matter is that even the San Francisco 49ers realized there were three people that needed to get paid on their squad, and they made sure they got paid. Unfortunately, they chose wrong between Debo and Ayuk. I still think they should have chose Debo.
Well, remember, Ayuk held out too.
No, I'm not saying because Ayuk, but because he didn't hold out or because Debo held out. I'm talking about because it looks like Debo was the more pliable of the two receivers. Because hasn't Ayuk been hurt like 2 out of the past 3 years?
Yeah, but Debo's also lost an obvious step as well.
So, but they paid Ayuk, they paid Purdy, they paid Nick Bosa, they paid George Kittle because they understood that they needed to pay them, and they acted accordingly. Jim Jerry Jones just doesn't want to pay people. He buckled and eventually paid Dak because he knew, again, they weren't going to find a better option than Dak out there. Not that Dak is a great quarterback. They just weren't going to find a better option out there of anybody that was going to take them any farther than Dak already had. So they needed to commit that money to him. They lost what back did they lose because Jerry went around? Well, Ezekiel Elliott had lost his step by the time they let him go. But what was the guy that came up right after Ezekiel Elliott that's not there anymore? He went to like Tennessee or something like that.
Pollard,
Yeah,
but Pollard was
Pollard.
already old. He wasn't necessarily young.
Yeah, but
he
he was
got hot.
executing. He was executing that offense. He was executing enough to get paid.
Yeah, but then he leaves and doesn't look like he's worth any of the money that he signed for.
Yeah, but their running game ain't been since he left either. Like that's the thing about
I
it.
mean, they got
Like
missing pieces, but I mean, I don't see Jerry having an issue re-signing people. It's just the mega contract guys that are kind of going to be the sticking point. This is part of the reason they let go of that one guy and let him go to Denver, I think it was, and him and Parsons got into that little internet spat about, wanting to win and all that stuff. But
yeah,
that was setting up to be able to pay Micah Parsons. It's going to happen, and like Jerry has said, he thought they had a deal between him and Parsons. Parsons wanted his agent involved, and Jerry was keeping it a bit old school. Let's get this solved over two beers and a cigar type deal. And Micah is a new age player and said, "No, I want my representation with me. I don't, the money's fine. I'm just not sure what all the sticking points are, but he'll get signed."
well, in bad news for a team that the both of you used to love, the backup quarterback Aiden O'Connell out 6 to 8 weeks with a fractured wrist after the 40. I believe he fractured his wrist in the 49ers Raiders preseason game. But yeah, I say poor kid. Like I want to say he's had a couple of injuries over the past couple of years, has he not? Swapped.
Yeah, a little nicky knack was nothing that's really made him miss a ton of time like this one when he got his shot to actually become the face of the franchise, but he didn't, do anything with that opportunity.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's a backup level quarterback. They're still grooming him to be a backup. And this just, goes right into the Raiders should have took Shador Sanders in the fourth round. But,
Well, O'Connell was never going to be the starter. Like you say, he's backup quality. He was never going to be the starter in the first
yeah,
place.
yeah.
They
Now they're
announced,
down a starter or down a
yeah,
backup rather.
backup.
So,
Yeah, I was gonna
you
say
know.
because Geno Smith pretty much had that starting job on
Oh,
lock.
yeah,
So
he's got
wait,
that done.
Karma.
Well,
I don't give a fuck. Karma. Fucking. This is what it's gonna be, y'all. They're. It's gonna be the curse of the toilet bowl. That's all I'm saying. Is they're not going to win a Super Bowl. They're not going. Nope. The bowl cut curse.
I
And
am a
and
believer in what's his name, the head coach now.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, I do like Pete Carroll a lot. I liked him all the way since USC. I like what he did with
I
Seattle.
I
He's got a
I
long road ahead of him, in Las Vegas. But
But see, I honestly think Pete Carroll will end up when the Lincoln Riley experiment is finally done and they fucking tarmac him like Lane Kiffin. Friggin', I definitely see that Pete Carroll will go back and end his career at USC to try to end it
so
in a positive. Now that all of that shit has been taken out, and
so
I
you can
like
pay
Pete
your
Carroll.
players.
Yeah. Um, I like Pete Carroll,
yeah,
but fuck Mark Davis. And this is, I'm sorry, but okay, I hate it for the kid, but yeah,
Yeah,
they're still
I
not
feel
going
you.
to do shit this year.
I feel you.
I said it. They're not going to do shit next year, and they're not going
I
to do
think
shit the year after.
I
They
think
look
the
like the
lack.
fourth best team in the conference to be, or in the division, to be honest.
I'll say outside or not outside, but to me, I'll be honest. The major problem that they have is similar to San Francisco, but not for the same reason. They have zero wide receiver depth. Because I'm constantly thinking to myself, who is Geno Smith going to be chucking the ball to? There is no DK Metcalf out there. There is no Tyler Lockett, in Las Vegas for him to throw to. So
Yeah, but there is a Brock
Well, no, I
Bowers.
mean they got Brock Bowers, they got Myers. Those are both the number one tight ends in the country when they drafted them just a year and 2 years ago. They do have that kid that they got from not Arizona State, but I think his name is Bach. He looks pretty good. And then they had the one kid, Zay Jones, I believe his name is. He looks halfway decent. I mean, he's not a world beater, but serviceable.
fair enough. Fair enough. All
And
right, and
they're gonna have to expand their run game, is what it's looking like. And I
And the
mean,
tight ends are going to lead the league in receiving and catches again.
hopefully,
yep,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll see. All right, so this last one is just a funny one. So the Chargers GM in a press conference said he says Najee Harris is feeling great and could play against the Chiefs after
Brady.
after suffering what they called superficial eye injury. But the ESPN article that I was checking out by Chris Ram, or no, Chris Rim, was saying that this is pretty much standard MO for hardball teams, like not really letting people know what the true injury report is and who's out.
Hasn't he gotten in trouble for that before? Like
No,
he's
that was for
very.
sign stealing.
Oh
That's
No,
no,
no, no, no,
I
no.
mean back when he was an
Yep,
NFL
yep.
coach. Yes. Kaepernick was. I think at one point he got in trouble for some Kaepernick shit, but he has gotten in trouble before for his questionable injury updates.
Yep.
Whatever you need to do to get the edge over the opponent, right? Wink, wink. Here's the whole thing about it. I've always hated the fact the only reason why injuries are announced every week is because
Gambling.
of gambling. Is because of gambling. Like, I don't think a team should have to turn over who their injured players are to the other team or make an announcement where the other team that they're facing knows who their injured players are. Make them have to prepare for players that are not going to be on the field. That gives you a slight advantage. In the fact that, like I said, we only do it because of gambling.
Well, and it's not just gambling. It's also, unless you consider fantasy football gambling, but it's also
fantasy football is a form of gambling. I do believe it is. But in general, yeah, like that's why I look at it like, not letting people know certain things, not putting certain people on the injury report. To me,
it's not giving away your game plan. I mean, I don't exactly. It's not one of those that I feel like is so egregious that it's just not following the rules. But
all right. Well, I just wanted to drop that one there. Hopefully Najee does play. I think the Chargers could use him. They're still not winning the division over the Chiefs, but it'll be nice for them to get out there and compete with Justin Herbert and all that. They don't have Mike Williams. He did resign, but I want to say he almost immediately retired. So he just wanted to retire a Charger where he started his career. So let's go back before we close the show to the sports quiz question for the second half, which was, before Tom Brady's era, who was the MVP of Super Bowl 31 in 1997, where the Green Bay Packers defeated the New England Patriots? Either you guys want to take a shot at it?
It's the first special teams player in history to win MVP of a Super Bowl, Mr. Desmond Howard.
Desmond Howard, yeah.
I bow to your sports knowledge, my friends. I bow to your sports knowledge. So that's going to wrap it up for us here, guys. Hope you guys have enjoyed us sharing our opinions with you about some of the hottest not hottest, but some of the topics of sports today because sports topics, Heather, you were right when you said it. It was a dry week. There wasn't a lot of big stories to come out. So we gave you what we could today. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. My name is Dark Lord 100. That's Swab. That's O'Malley. And we'll be back next week for the classroom. Well, I think Swab's taking a vacation next week. So hopefully me and O'Malley will be back next week.
I'll be here. I'll be on vacation the week after, more than likely.
Yeah. All right. So y'all stay blessed, stay up, and O'Malley.
Fuck LeBron, and good God, people, leave the male cheerleaders alone. Freaking get a life. Be more concerned about your fucking football team playing than the cheerleaders. They just fucking get a life.
And Dallas Cowboys fans specifically, just go to church and stay there. Because it's going to take all of y'all staying in church for about the next 5 years for them to even sniff a Super Bowl. So,
Fuck Mark Davis. It's Oakland for life.
there you go.
Yep,
Yeah.
I agree with that too.
Peace.
Yeah.